Doubles and coffee. Another lie of the PNM exposed by the appeal court now. One by one, the PNM house of cards of lies just collapsing. This one, the lie of the missing file. Yesterday was about Nikwan, and I gave you the whole story. Now it's the lie of the missing file. The PNM Attorney General that replaced the Faris Al-Rawi, Al-Adans, Al-Taipans, that Attorney General, and this Limo Attorney General of the PNM turned out to be worse than even Johnny Sukaran Alataipans. But hear this article, because the truth comes out. It may travel slowly, but the truth is always revealed, and then PNM does just lie through their teeth. That's why they are where they are, and they must stay where they are. Listen to this. Exclusive. The lie of the missing file. There's a file. Remember Limo and the PNM lost nearly $19 million, and they had to go and get Stanley John and pay him some millions of dollars to find a file that was never missing, because Limo said it was missing when it was always there on soft copy, hard copy, medium copy, all kind of copy. Then they pay Stanley John money to come and say, oops, oh, the file was really not missing, but we'll try to do better, all to obfuscate the truth that the PNM is corrupt, the PNM lies, and the PNM is incompetent. Well, the appeal went to court. Anand Ramlogan, again, Freedom Law Chambers. The lie of the missing file. Court of Appeal exposes AG in landmark $18.9 million judgment, which you, the taxpayers, will have to pay. Understand what the PNM does. Their lies, they defend their lies, they go all the way with their lies, and who ends up paying? You, the people. But they tell all you, wean yourself off the resources, right? And it's only for them, it's only for PNM to rent out their own building, to recuse themselves, to give themselves and their families and their financiers contract. In a searing rebuke of the Attorney General's office, the Court of Appeal has ruled that the state failed to act promptly in defending a malicious prosecution claim brought by the 9 men once accused of killing businesswoman Vindra Naipal Coolman, restoring a nearly $19 million judgment and exposing what has been described as the lie of the missing file. The historic ruling handed down today, June 9th, which is yesterday, 2025, all you might be seeing this, so 2 days, 2025, the default judgment against the Attorney General, but also completely dismantles the narrative pushed by former Attorney General Reginald Armour, former PNM Attorney General Reginald Armour, that a critical file had mysteriously disappeared. In a fiery statement following the decision, lead attorney for the appellants Anand Ramlogan, SC of Freedom Law Chambers, called the missing file excuse a baseless lie and a politically motivated deflection aimed at covering up the state's gross incompetence. This judgment also exposes the baseless lie about the saga of the missing file that was irresponsibly peddled by Attorney General Reginald Armour, PNM. His remarks suggested that our clients or our legal team might have had something to do with the sudden disappearance of this file. That lie has been exposed and can now be put to rest, said Ramlogan. According to the judgment, the Attorney General's office under the PNM had sufficient notice of the claim and fully participated in hearings related to the assessment of damages. In scathing language, the court highlighted that the Attorney General, the PNM Attorney General, knew about the default judgment as early as July 2021, yet took no meaningful action until 2023 after intense public backlash. The Attorney General is not entitled to have the default judgment set aside merely because of dissatisfaction with the award of damages assessed by the master, the ruling stated. The delay in this case has been unexplained, and all the while the damages assessment proceeded with the full participation of the state, The PNM participated, the assessment, they were there, they were arguing, and then Limo and the PNM lied and said, oh, the file was missing, and Mama Guy, the whole country. That is why you rejected them. I'm just reminding you to keep on rejecting them. Reject them for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Let the PNM stay by themselves. The court found that the default judgment was properly entered after the state failed to file a defense. The men, and they call all their names, they sued and they won. The state's defense, led by a PNM attorney, also called into question. The court noted that Ramkisu's authority was unclear and not grounded in law, stressing that civil litigation on behalf of the state is a statutory responsibility of the Solicitor General. There is no statutory support for her role. The Solicitor General is solely responsible for the conduct of civil litigation against the state. The court blasted the AG's attempt to shift blame to the claimants, that is to Ram Logan, SC, and so on. Justice Nolan Barrow, who delivered the lead opinion, was unwavering in asserting the supremacy of the law over politics. Public opinion is not a barometer for the rendering of judicial decisions. We must not lose sight of the sacred constitutional principle of the presumption of innocence. No guilt was proven, and they go on and on. But all in all, you must realize how dishonest. This is the same Attorney General that wrote a pre-action protocol letter on the behest of the Ministry of Finance and the PNM Minister of Finance to attack the Auditor General for simply doing her job. This is the same PNM that signed an indemnity with a criminal and a man who was known to be a liar, who had changed his opinion in the NICWA and the World GTL case to withdraw Malcolm Jones to assist the PNM in getting away from a judgment of £100 million, where the Privy Council was baffled as to what kind of bush politics the PNM was playing in a democracy as old as Trinidad and Tobago's. This is the PNM that lies on the DPP. This is the Nelson Gate PNM, the Delcy Gate PNM, the NDA secrecy PNM. And now you see it again. Judges just scathing against the lies, the obfuscation, the untruths, the lack of case. You remember when the Auditor General case reached the Privy Council and Douglas Mendes, senior counsel, looked like a blithering idiot up there, embarrassing himself, and he had to have known that he had no argument. The board of the Privy Council asked him, but don't you find this wrong? Why is the Minister of Finance not under investigation? That a minister and a ministry that is in an argument and debating with the Auditor General, the minister will appoint a committee, pay the committee, give the committee scope of works to investigate the Auditor General and not himself and not his ministry, and you find that was fair? That is the PNM way. They turn wrong right. They abuse power, dictatorial, oppressive, and dishonest. They are all like the former leader, Rowley, and Stuart Smallpin Young, and Al-Rawi now talking on behalf of Penny. Penny is not a shiny penny. Penny was there all the time when this was going on, and she sat there quiet. Now all of a sudden, Penny have voice. She's shouting loud. I don't know if she want to be Patrick Manning, Rowley, or whoever else. I don't know who she's trying to be, but it's not Penny, that quiet person who does nothing for 40 years, who takes pictures in front of mailbox. Now she brings back the old guard, the same liars, the indemnity man Al-Rawi, the rental man Al-Rawi, who is vexed that people call him 1%. Boss man, if you're an Attorney General, you swear on the Bible to uphold the law and fight for the people. And in 9.5 years, you earn, because of your government position, an extra $148.5 million. You is the 1%, boy. You cash rich because of politics. You are coming there to talk down to people now and tell them to support you. Penny put you there. The PNM is the same old pathetic lying PNM. And judgment by judgment is coming. They tried to hound down UNC, where it was Nelson Gate, EMBD, Live Sport. Hey, Live Sport judgment coming with the board just now. Now, they couldn't put the minister Anil in that because Anil's name was never called in anything from the beginning. They would like to link it to any sort of untoward activity, but nothing in the minister Anil, his family, his building, his pool, nothing was there with Live Sport. However, they attack people, they attack the board, they run them through the court. Well, the court case coming up just now. We wait and see for a judgment. But I could put to you, and I proffer that another lie of the PNM will be unmasked by the courts, because the judiciary is the one institution that luckily the PNM was not able to infiltrate totally. They infiltrated it a little bit because we heard of former PNM independent senators getting WhatsApp messages from High Court judges to say the UNC is terrible and disrespectful. Remember that? We're still waiting to know who were those judges WhatsApping an independent senator. But we wait to see. But the truth is that when you go to our High Courts, our judiciary, you can argue your case, present facts, and the truth will come out. It might take 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 years, but the truth will come out. And in 2 days, back-to-back judgments, the Nikwan incident where the PNM kept information from a widow about the death of her husband and showed that they were wrong, that was public interest. They tried to blame Christmas and all. They tried to blame Santa Claus, this disgusting, pathological lying PNM. And now, in the $18.9 million case, it shows the PNM was lying and they got caught and the judges rebuked them. That is the PNM. Rebuked by the judiciary, rebuked by the population, rebuked in Tobago, rebuked in Trinidad. Keep rebuking them onwards. Onwards without the PNM. Bless.